Good morning. Ooh, Dijana here from Dijana.org. And this morning we are going to record episode 19 for Mentoring for Awakening series. Today's topic is an overview of this thing commonly referred to as the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy. I thought that I would come on and do a quick video explaining kind of broadly the umbrella meaning of this terminology and what that looks like in nature and what it looks like in application. Certainly it is a evolutionary phenomenon that we have finally arrived to that is very exciting. Hang on a minute. Oh, look at that. And then there was light. And then there was glare in my glasses. But then I can't see. So, well, there we go. All right. Deep breath. Where to start? Let's start with the first question that I noted on in the title. What does it mean when we refer to masculine and feminine energy as divine? The very simple explanation for this is that within this context, divine means conscious, as in aware of the unseen aspects of the feminine and masculine energy. Divine because those unseen aspects are of quantum nature, if you will. They're about the way energy moves in nature, the way energy moves within us, the way we then interact with those that are of the opposing polarity, yeah? And because the unseen is often referred to as some sort of spiritual, whether religious or whether it's New Age, if you will, one of a better description, it doesn't matter. Divine is something that is more than what is physically witnessed, yeah? And so by nature, when we refer to masculine and feminine energies as divine, what we are describing is a conscious awareness of the masculine and feminine energy and nature outside of the gender principle of physicality, of matter, yeah? So it's outside of that. It's bigger than that. It's and we are like, the key here is to be consciously aware of it, because once we become consciously aware and we understand that there is such a thing as a divine aspect of the feminine energy, divine aspect of the masculine energy, then the process of embodiment begins. The asking questions, the wanting to remember more, the seeing what resonates within you. And once this knowing is embodied, then we begin the process consciously applying this knowing, consciously applying and learning how to actually create and manifest with this awareness of the divine self as it expresses through the feminine energy and the masculine energy. Okay, so that's why divine, or certainly that's the way I am. Well, the word that I want to say is translating from from the knowing, the intrinsic knowing that is already within me. Okay, so as it is in nature, the feminine and masculine energy, so we would know this if we studied physics at school, you know, whoever can remember that far, but essentially the feminine and masculine in nature is about the polarities. Yeah, so it's about this energy interacting in a polar way, right? So the feminine is usually the negative, like minus, yeah, F minus, and the masculine is the positive charge of the energy. So you will note this in a battery, for example, when you are putting batteries into something, right? So you always need to put one end in a certain way and another end another way. When it is a different dynamic when in nature masculine is interacting with masculine, plus and plus, and of course different if it's minus and minus, as in the feminine polarities, to interacting. That's different from the way interaction happens, the polar opposite of the plus and the minus. There's a magnetic force that pulls the two together, especially the two that are like or on the same, I guess, timeline or frequency band, right? The negative charge and the positive charge, right, will be magnetized together. Yeah, they will look to come together. So this is in nature, this is also similar to I guess we will see expressions on this, for example, when the weather changes from winter to spring, and all of a sudden the living organisms in nature, the trees, the buds on the trees, suddenly get like this little knock, knock, knock on biologically they get triggered for the next phase of their expression. So whether it be, I'll have to post some of this, but my beautiful tree in my backyard, it's a frangipani tree, and I actually screenshotted, is that good English? Screenshot 14 days or 14 mornings in a row last month of this one branch of the frangipani, just to get a snapshot in physical time of what happens with a bud, with a tree flower bud in nature. And it's really beautiful to see it grow, to see the, you know, the flower begin to come through and manifest physically in nature. It's wonderful. Another thing to also consider is in the nature, for example. So when this starts to happen, there's all of a sudden an influx of, you know, bees that are looking for somewhere to live, to create a new colony, to pollinize, and you know, keep our nature alive. You know, there's a sudden buzz in the air of all sorts of different activity that gets triggered, yeah, as a result of this magnetic charge in nature, right? That just kind of magnetizes and comes together in this unseen but yet completely intelligent and beautiful way that we witness every single season, right? So in the same way, because we are also biological species, right, when we have a particular charge, so I'll give you now an expression, and you will know this as I say it. This will, nothing that I say here today, let me just say this, nothing that I express, say here today, will probably come as a great deal of surprise to you. You know this, but the point of this overview is to potentially allow you to consciously step into that knowing, right? So that you can begin to frame some of your conscious creation and manifestation within the spectrum of those two polarities, the feminine and the masculine within. So in the same way that nature, living organisms that are outside of us respond intuitively and consciously to what is meant for them, yeah? So the feminine, in the same way that that happens in nature, we also, as part of nature, as biologicals, within our biology, have this natural inbuilt instinct to respond to these polar, seemingly opposite energies, right? So the feminine energy, or the divine feminine aspect of the energy, is receptive. So that's the negative charge, particle charge of the energy, the feminine. She's often unconscious because she's receptive. She's more in stillness and about magnetizing to her, right, that which is meant for her. And as she magnetizes to herself, yeah, as a receiver, what is the like energy, she will call to herself her equal, and then that will create or birth. You have often, I'm sure, seen pictures, expressions, this birthing. The feminine energy will birth from that a like creation, or she will give birth to something. So whether it's an intention in the form of, you know, I need, like a new home or a new job or a new relationship, or I'm ready for a relationship, or I no longer want this relationship and I am magnetizing to myself an end of a chapter, anything, right? Or I literally want to give birth and have a child. The masculine energy, right? The divine aspect of the masculine energy is actually the giver. The divine aspect of the masculine energy will recognize the call. Yeah? So the soul song, some call it, the call, the charge, the intention of the negative charge of the energy, and the positive charge will then go do 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 do. Yep, that's where I need to go. So in nature, that would be the bee to a flower, for example, right? So the masculine energy will then go to, because the masculine energy is the action, and the masculine energy will then take the creation, the potential of the creation, and will fertilize it. So do something with it, fertilize it, consider what needs to be done, what energy needs to be used, and in which way to practically apply the masculine energy into an actual manifestation. So we could say that the divine feminine aspect, the negative charge of the energy, is the creation, of course, the feminine creation, receptive, and the masculine, the positive charge of the energy, is the recognition of the creation, the giver, and the practical application of what is being created in the form of a manifestation. That's the masculine energy. So this also applies in terms of left and right. I'm just looking at my notes here. Left and right brain hemisphere. So the masculine energy by nature would probably reside more in the left brain hemisphere, and the right is the more creative feminine. Also, the feminine is more the unconscious energy, so fourth dimensional space, represented by the moon arcana, higher arcana in the tarot, and the masculine would therefore be the more conscious, so what we actually see, the physical stuff. So the the masculine aspect of the energy is therefore the more illuminated, more the stuff that we see, and therefore represented by the sun in the tarot. What else do I need to tell you about this? I think in terms of an overview, I'm going to leave it here. If you need to listen to this again, that's fine. Feel free to do that. Feel free to share. I'd love to receive some comments. I'm going to upload this to YouTube now so that it's available widely. And if you have any questions, of course, I'm always here for you to ask. I love you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, day, etc. And yeah, I think we're going to leave it here. Mwah! So much love to you. Bye.